Hello everyone, this is Aaron Burton with Unconventional Oil and Gas Training, and thank you for joining me today for a 5-minute overview of plug and perf. Now the purpose of this module is to give you a basic overview of plug and perf completion system and plug and perf operations. Now the most common application for these types of completion systems are horizontal wells that require multi-stage hydraulic fracturing. Now you'll see in our diagram here we've already got our horizontal well drilled and it's ready to be completed. So to start the completion process, you're going to run steel pipe into the wellbore, which is called casing. Now once you have your casing into the wellbore at the intended depth, you pump cement through the casing and into the annulus between that casing and the formation. And that'll give you your isolation you need in the wellbore. So once your cement is set up, you've pressure tested, then you can move the drilling rig off of location and wait until you're ready to fracture to continue the operations. So we'll zoom into the toe here, and this is the toe of the well here. Now you've completely isolated your well because you have steel pipe surrounded by cement and you can no longer pump fluids into your formation. So in order to regain access, you're going to have to do a coiled tubing run with perforation guns. So you run your coiled tubing system into the wellbore. Once you get your perforation guns in place, then you'll fire your perforations. And as you can see, your perforations puncture a hole through the casing and through the cement and actually into the formation. That way you can now pump fluids into your formation. So once you finish, you pull your coiled tubing unit out of the wellbore, you rig up your pressure pumping crew, and you begin the first stage frac job. Now, you still have the ability to pump fluids into this stage that you fractured here, so at this point most operators switch to a pump down uh, uh, assembly. So this is run in on wireline. You'll pump fluid through the previously fractured stage here and pump down a wireline assembly. So you've got your assembly led on the wireline here. You've got your frac plug at the bottom of the assembly, setting tool above that, which will set the plug and then release from it, and then your perforation guns above that. Now once you've got this assembly to your intended depth, then you're going to send an electric signal through your wire line, and that will activate the setting tool, which will set the plug. And once the plug is set, it releases from the plug so that you can move your wire line up the hole. Now once you've got to the depth for your first set of perforations, you send another electric signal through your wire line, and that activates the first cluster of perforations. Once you fired that, pull up hole to the depth that you want to fire your second set of perforations, send another electric signal, and fire your second set of perforations. Then just repeating the process. Pulling up hole, sending an electric signal through your wire line, and firing your next set of perforations. Now this technique is called cluster perforations. So you'll perform your frac job through all three of these clusters of perforations at one time. We won't go into a lot of detail in this module with the cluster perforations, but look for a future module describing cluster perforations and perforation strategies. So once you've fired your perforations, you pull out a hole with your wire line, rig down your wireline crew, rig up your pressure pumping crew, and then you're going in your second stage frac job. And at that point, you're just repeating the process until all stages in your wellbore are fractured. So you'll set another plug to isolate from that previously fractured stage. Then you'll perforate your third stage, fracture your third stage, and set another plug to isolate from that stage and continue your process. Now, once you've completed the fracturing, the frac job on this well bore, you still have your composite frac plugs in the well and you do have to remove these before you can put your well on production. So once you finish your frac job, you go in with a coiled tubing unit and you mill out the plugs one by one from the well. Now once the plugs are out of the well, then you can put that well on production. Well, once again, thank you for joining us. This is Aaron Burton with Unconventional Oil and Gas Training, and this has been a 5-minute overview of plug and perf. Please feel free to reach out and contact me if you have any questions. My email is waaronburton@uogtraining.com. And also please reach out and join us on our social media pages on LinkedIn and Facebook at Unconventional Oil and Gas Training. So be sure to tune in for future modules. And once again, thank you for joining us.